Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Let's discuss about dharana, the shielding of divine energy, the seventh stage of Akhand Yoga. I've been making one thing very clearly: to come to the stage of Divyang, the divine designer nature, it has taken me many janmas, births, deaths, cycles of reincarnation, and is a result of all that is present within me, and I am able to continue to thereafter. And the first thing which comes to my mind is devotion for divine nature, which has created all the perfect things in the entire universe. Tat Tvam Asi. Everything is identical, and that I do believe in a form which has taken a human form to tell the world as such is Mata Vaishno Devi, who is the incarnation of Goddess Durga, and also Trikuta as Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh as such. Only in that form the things are really turning out very good as a devotion for divine energy, which has made me come to this particular stage. Then come to the question. The first thing which I make it very clear is the Karma Yoga. Your thoughts, action, accomplishments waste only on your regular work, like 24/7, like the Surya itself. Then Sanatana Dharma, the perfect divine design way of spiritual science life, has the three main explicit wisdoms: Mantra Vidya, Yantra Vidya, and Tantra Vidya. But let me make it very clear, within these three things, there is the implicit divine mathematics, Ganit Vidya, and particularly Lord Brahma's 22/21 first stage of creation and 10 stages of development I have learnt only from Vedas, Upanishads only. And the idea of 5 digits of third stage or maturation or Lord Shiva were also from the pictures of Sanatana Dharma. But finally I have found that based on the equipment which are available, and leave it at that. So as a result, Ganit Vidya is the fourth complement which I have added to Sanatana Dharma, which makes it the greatest creation in all the human mind, who has given the divine mathematics to the universe. And this picture is very clear that you can see Divyank on top, 22/21 to the power of 10.34419, equivalent to 1.618034. And the symbol is of Divyank, and you can see 10 planets, and that is divine mathematics in full form for the first time in the history of mankind, which has been given with the divine mathematics symbolic form with the scientific evidence never seen before in one particular book. Then come to the question of talking about Akhand Yoga is integrated yoga, where I am talking about for myself or the soul of sun rising from sun right up to pole star, and that is represented as Sahasrara Chakra with 1024 petals, and that is the divine mathematics again: 0, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512 and 1024. These are 11 expansions or divisions which is equivalent to Divyanka. Again I see in the Sahasrara Chakra, which was called 1000, now I call it 1024. Then come to the Akhand Yoga's primarily four things are Yama, the virtues; Niyam, the disciplines; Yogasana, 108 exercises; and Pranayam, the breathing techniques for oxygen absorption, expulsion of carbon dioxide. Then come to the 11 stages, which I am going to talk about it step by step as we are proceeding. Yama, as I told you, the 5 virtues, and these are the 5 virtues I have spoken about it. These are the niyams, disciplines, and these are the 5 disciplines I have spoken about it. And once these 5 plus 5 virtues and disciplines are done very well, only then the journey of yoga starts thereafter. Without the truth, non-violence and divinity by and large, you cannot move on yogasana, pranayam, pratyahara and etc. at all. Yoga starts only with these 10. Anyone who does not follow those 10 completely, yoga is not meant for you, because you is union of Jivatma, the human body, with Antaratma, indwelling soul of helium, and Paramatma, Earth, cosmic ocean, Gurta, Adi Parashakti, or divinity by and large. Then comes to the Yogasana. 108 things have to be learned to understand, and the best example is Surya Namaskar. And Vajrasana is one of the best ways to really see that your body is flexible and sit in comfortable position. Your digestion, absorption, assimilation, everything is perfectly done in this particular stage. And this is one thing, because the venous blood is 61.803% is more in the legs. And to bring it back, your calf muscles act as the second heart to bring it back. This is one exercise to return blood to the heart completely and keep it more mobile, and you could be perfectly healthy. You never suffer from heart attack or any problem for that matter. Your heart will be fantastically perfect. Then comes to the pranayam, the divine breathing exercises for absorption of oxygen, expulsion of carbon dioxide. That is the fourth stage of Akhand Yoga itself. Then come to the stage, from that I have spoken about it. This you go to naturally to make sure that acid base balance, water concentration, and alkaline blood of 7.4 pH is maintained perfectly. When you go for acidic blood, you will have acidic respiration, which is defective. Then comes to the Tratakam. This was not in Patanjali's Sutra, but I do believe this is most important exercise to see the external world and internal world again. As you can see in this picture, the eyes are open, but the focus is on Trikuta between the two eyebrows and inside the brain. Once you do that, you bring a line from sense objects, sensory nerves, to the mind, thoughts, process, intelligence, everything in one line connected with Antaratma is what Tratakam takes you. You see the external world only from Antaratma. You have moved from physical body to Antaratma. The physical body becomes a part of the Antaratma's line itself. And that is the sense of Vedas, Upanishads, including Gita, and of course Satchakra Nirupana. Then is a fifth stage. I have told you this wisdom of the external and internal both is known. As a result, your clairvoyance, this Divya Drishti, also increases. Then comes to question of Pratyahara, is withdrawal of senses from the external world. With the eyes open, all the five senses open, but you are focused from inside, not outside. So anything moving in between will be absorbed by you. From Atmic point of view, that is the best way of learning. And that is where Katha Upanishad makes it very clear that whole Antaratma as such is like a thumb. And this is what I see when they say, somebody says the heart. I can understand the length of the thumb is equivalent to the length of your heart itself. And I have to leave it at that. Then it also talks about Mandukya Upanishad, where two birds, one eating fruits and one not eating fruits, just saying, is again Jivatma, which is eating, enjoying the fruits of all minerals, plants, as such. But there is an Antaratma which is observing and guiding it to choose the right one and done with it. Once that is understood, you can understand Chandogya Upanishad, you can understand Mundaka Upanishad, you understand Ved Upanishad completely only when you both are in tune with each other. You enjoy with approval of inner consciousness, that is Mundaka Upanishad. Then come to the question of Dharana, the subject for today's discussion. Now, if you understand the whole thing is Yam and Niyam are the foundation with which perfection comes. Without that, perfection cannot start. Then Yogasanas, the 108 types, are prepare your physical body with the warmth required to bring the flexibility. Then come to the pranayam, the oxygen which gives you energy, which is Agni element. So Bhumi, Jal and Agni, three are done right up to that particular stage. And then you go on further to increase it further to mind, withdraw from the external senses. When you come and internal exercises, you have to understand that you got to create dharana And dharana is sitting quietly and watching things within the frame which is required. That literally you are with the mind consciousness, divine energy, with the antaratma, but you do not let that mind go out, but you are observing everything as one. As there is a recognizer, recognition, and recognize, all the three become thing. Cognizer, cognize, and all the three becomes one. And suddenly like that, your Jivatma and Antaratma, all the three are one. And that is Dharana all about. Now I am giving certain concepts which world talks about it from Patanjali's Dharana, which I am going to correct it in this particular picture step by step. The first thing, let's talk about Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 stages. In this particular picture, you can see right side Yama is written as external disciplines, which I do not agree. It is not external discipline, it's exceptional virtues or vows, which are part of your inner consciousness. Truth is a part of your antaratma. Non-violence is part of that. And so is non-acquisitiveness, non-stealing, and the divinity by and large. Niyams are the disciplines. He said external discipline. Niyam is a discipline which you learn from observing nature as such, like Saucha, outside as well as inside. Swadhe, Brahmacharya, concentration, contemplation, all that. That's how. Anyway, let's not go much into that. One is virtue, another is niyams. Then Yogasana is a positive meditation seat. I do not agree with that. Yoga asanas mean physical body as such should be completely taken care of. That means your skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscle, all the things should be working with each other, voluntary, involuntary, such a way that your entire 100 billion cells, with all the tissues, muscles of cardiac, skeletal, and smooth, all are working optimally. That should be the yogasanas. Then come to the pranayam. Is not breath control. It is the breath which is moving in smoothly, absorption of oxygen and expulsion of 61.80. That's how you understand the whole respiratory system. Active inspiration and passive process and the mathematical design comes to play a very role in pranayam itself. Then come to Pratyahara. When you have started taking Agni and Vayu and everything within that, your energy is that Bhumi, ya Prithvi, solid element, water, Apa, Jal, and Agni or oxygen as such is done. Then when you three things that you are literally having the warmth moving up. When warmth moves inside, then you have to learn Pratyahara. Withdraw the senses, but actually you are creating that senses. Agree, I have no issues on that part. But go to the next stage is the dharana. It's written as a concentration. I do not agree with that. That is not what Patanjali was talking about. Patanjali spoke about Desh, Vandas, Chit, Atsya, Hi Dharana. I will show you as such. But anyway, I come to Dhyan is a concentration, not meditation, absorption. Then Samadhi is union or integration. We will get into that when we come to that particular stage. Now this is a statement which is given concentration on top and then Desh, Vandis, Dharana. This particular thing of Dharana, which is Desh, is a territory. Band, stop. The and Chatasya is mind process. And once these things are understood, which I am going to show you as such, is actual meaning of dharana, not concentration for a short time. Now I am going to give you a misconception which I see every author who is talking about Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Most authors portray that concentration for short time is called dharana. I do not agree with that. Focus for a long time is called dhyana. This is also something we will discuss as we come to. Dharana is far from the above real truth. Maharishi Prabhupada was an experienced, honest, accomplished and integrated yogi. He would not need two stages for a single concept of concentration at all. I give him credit that he is beyond these restrictions. He'll use one word with a very specific concept. Let us explore, enumerate, explain the underlying causes and effects of dharana as such. We'll go to that particular stage. Now, I said pratyahara is withdrawal of senses. When you have withdrawn the senses, you have brought the energy inside. Once the energy comes inside, let's think the thing. Desh, bandhas, chetasya dharana is what is written in Sanskrit as well as English. That means a shield territory around the mind is dharana. So when you have withdrawn from the external, you have drawn the energy, divine energy. That energy should not go out again. Focus inside and create a shield around it so it does not wander anymore. Like in Tratakam, you withdraw. External to internal is internal. Then internally, after that, you create a shield. So wandering or chit vritti nirod, stop the fluctuation of that is yoga starts happening only dharana. Dharana is a samyam state. We will talk about it as we go to that samyam state later. But this is the first stage of samyam that you have brought inside, and don't let that go out. And once that is done, but now I bring it very clear that it should not be with eyes open, ears closed, or senses blocked. All should be open only. Only then you understand Tratakam, you understand Pratyahara, and then you understand Dharana. With all senses open, not closed. If you are doing with the closed, things would be not, you will not see the external world and do not observe, that Atma will not be able to see. So all the meditation should be with eyes open, not eyes closed. But from inside out, not outside as such. And this is the first stage of creating inside, creating a shield. And that is the most important thing as far as dharana is concerned. It is a shield so that it doesn't move out. But still you are observing the external world completely. It's not a concentration for some time, it's a concentration of whole thing from in out with open eyes, open mind, open consciousness, open everything. That is the fluctuation, or stop the fluctuation of mind. Then comes to the question of shielding. As I told you, mind cannot go out again. Mind can be used for concentration and contemplate fully inside thereafter. Now you have moved from the external world with the open thing, but you're thinking from inside to outside. So you're literally using your divine energy or adhiti or kundalini or antaratma to teach you the perfection, because they are the perfect one. And once you are in tune, you become an instrument of divine consciousness, and that is where your bhakti, your devotion, or Ishwar Pranidhana comes to take a full front. And dharana gives you the first stage of samyam itself. Then after once you do that step by step, you come to the concentration inside, and you find the whole sequence of yam, all the five virtues and all the five disciplines, and perfect physical body, perfect oxygen, perfect withdrawal of senses, perfect focus inside, and then from there move on. Once that takes place systematically one by one, then only yoga can start thereafter. The first are only preparatory exercises. Real yoga starts only from dharana. That is samyam, which is further going to take insight to dhyana. You take one subject at a time, concentrate on that, and understand A to Z on that subject completely from every possible angle. That is time when you realize there are 64 different arts and sciences. Once you understand all the 64 arts and things, only then you get understanding of the subject completely. So dhyana is one by one, but after one by one you have to understand all the 64 in dhyana, then bring together, only then you can move on to Devyank or the Antaratmas and Paramatma, and whole entire universe can become only once you know all the subjects completely. And once you know that, that is something, and going beyond that is much more. You are going to see that as such. Maybe for the time being, this is enough for the time. Remember, you have come to take from inside out. You are watching. You have created a shield. It does not wander anymore. And that is the first practical aspect of yoga itself. I think that's enough for the time being. We will move slowly, step by step, to the next stages and see how we come to the impeccable wisdom step by step with a practical, so that all the experiences, the entire thing, are within the brain itself. You become walking, talking encyclopedia only when you have experienced that within yourself and done research, and you will find the results are completely different from what has been done by anybody. And I'm only talking from that point. Unless until you are totally moving with your antaratma and universal consciousness, only things can happen. Otherwise, you will be like a tossing toy only. Anyway, this is enough for the day. Thank you very much.